Are you tired of chasing leads, managing schedules, and juggling client communication? What if you could automate all that with AI, saving time and keeping your leads engaged and impressed? Want to know how? Stick around and I'll show you how. You see, managing real estate leads can be overwhelming. Sending follow ups, scheduling viewing, and keeping track of client details. And let's face it, one missed email or double booked appointment can cost you a deal. That's where automation comes in. In this video, I'll show you how to build a no-code AI-powered system in a platform called N8N. And the system sends a personalized email to the lead with property recommendations, automatically schedules viewings in Google Calendar, updates your CRM in real time, and even sends reminders to ensure no one forgets an appointment. Before we get into the demo, I'd first like you to have an overview of how this system works. So it all starts when a lead fills out our property inquiry form. They provide details, including their preferences, their email, their name, which we'll collect, and the lead will get a welcome email. And this welcome email will also contain an invitation to confirm a viewing date that's appropriate for them. Once they confirm viewing, if they don't reply within 24 hours, the lead will receive a follow-up email. But if the lead replies, we'll set up a Google Calendar event confirming their viewing dates. We'll also fill in the details in our CRM, which in our case is going to be Google Sheets. After the lead details are filled into the CRM, we'll then send the lead an email confirming their viewing, basically. And if they want to reschedule it, we'll then go through the same procedure. We'll set up a Google Calendar event, updating the details, and then we'll fill in, we'll update the CRM, then we'll send an email confirming the reschedule. Lastly, 24 hours before the viewing date, we'll send the lead a reminder via email just to make sure the lead is still down for it. And that's basically it. Now let's hop into N8N and see how the system is working. So let's first do a demo. Let's go and fill in our property inquiry form. Let's fill in our email. Our phone number. Our preferred location. Our budget range. Number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, square footage. So let's submit this. It looks like our form has been submitted. Now let's check our email to see if we've got a welcome email from the system. It appears the welcome email has been sent. Here it is. As you can see, we have a greeting. We have three property recommendations from the property database. So there's a database that has got listings of properties that are up for sale. So that's where these three recommendations are coming from. And so it's also asking us for our availability for property viewing. Okay, let's reply to this email. So we sent the reply. Let's see if it will schedule our viewing dates. So I'm in my Google Calendar. Let's see if it has scheduled the viewing. Yeah, so it has scheduled the viewing. Here it is. I'm in my CRM and it appears the details have already been logged into the CRM. Now that we've seen how the system operates, let's look under the hood. Now let me break this down. I will get started with the on form submission node. We have our test URL and our production URL. Whenever you're testing this form, you're going to use this URL. And whenever your workflow is ready for production, you're going to use our production. This is the URL that grants you access to the form. And under the authentication field, we've basically had it as none because we don't need authentication for this form at the moment. This form title field is where you fill in your form title. So in our case, instead of hi there, it's gonna be property inquiry form. Form description is where you give the form a description. Then we have form fields. Under form fields, we have all this. We have the name, we have email, the phone number, preferred location, budget range. This is basically all the information that you want the lead to fill in. And so as this data flows down the workflow, it gets to the AI agent. Now the AI agent has tools, it has memory attached to it, it has tools, and this are the tools hooked up to it. This OpenAI chat model is the brains of the AI agent. And in our case, the chat model we're using is OpenAI's GPT-4o Mini. Under the memory, if we want our AI agent to remember previous operations, we'll hook up memory. The next tool is the company knowledge base. This is where we store a database containing property listings. The database looks something close to what we have. Let me show you. The database looks something close to this. And so what we've done, instead of feeding it as a Google Sheet, we change the format. We fed it to the AI agent in form of a vector. Vector format is easy for the AI agent to reference. And for that, we are using an OpenAI model. So we are using the text embedding 3 small. And the vector store we're using is Pinecone. If you're familiar with Pinecone, here's their website. It's pinecone.io. This is where you store your vector databases. Next, let's have a look at this send email tool. What this tool does is it sends email to our lead. If you don't know how to set up your Gmail account, I'll link to a video in the description on how to go about this. Under the tool description, we've set it automatically. Resource is the message. Operation is send email. 2, this is where we feed the lead's email. Subject, we feed the email subject. Message, we feed the email body. And in case you're wondering, we are using the from AI expression because we want the AI to figure out on its own what the lead email address is, what the email subject is, what the email body is. Next, let's go to the check for reply tool. But before we get to it, I'd like us to have a look at this check email replies trigger. And this is triggered whenever an email is received in my email address. So if the lead replies to my welcome email, this trigger will get fired. And you see, we set up the credentials using my Gmail account. It's set to check my emails every minute, and the event is on message received. I added up a filter so that it only checks emails in my inbox. Now that you've had a look at this trigger works hand in hand with this check for reply email. So this check for reply email, it checks to see if the lead has replied to the welcome email. How it does that is it checks for the thread ID of the initial welcome email. So whenever we use the send email tool, the system will not only send the email, but it will also output a thread ID and a message ID. And so we'll use that thread ID here in the check reply. So we'll use that thread, we'll feed in the thread ID. So the AI will have to figure out the thread ID of the welcome email. And so with this thread ID, we'll be able to recognize a reply from the specific welcome thread. And so if the email is from the thread and the lead has confirmed viewing, we'll go ahead to the next tool, which is the Google Calendar. The Google Calendar, it will set up an event. And as you can see here, it's asking for my credentials, which I had set up a while ago. The tool description is set to automatic. The resource is event. And here the operation is to create a Google Calendar event. That's why I've set it to create. Under calendar, I've got a number of calendars, but I'm using my calendar. And the next is the start event. The start event, we are also using the from AI expression. So the AI has to figure out when the start date is. So the system will read the reply from the lead. and it will extract the date for the viewing. And that's why we're using this from AI expression. So the AI will figure out the scheduled date, and it will set up a Google Calendar event based on that. Next is the Get Google Sheets tool. What this tool does is it gets rows. Remember, let me take you back to the clients, to the CRM. They're using the Get Google Sheets tool just so the AI has knowledge on what's contained in this database. So of importance here is this client ID. So it will have a look at this client ID. As you can see, there's a trend, and we want the AI to key in a new client ID following this trend. So that's why we've got it here. And whenever the same client fills in another inquiry, it will maintain the client ID but with a new inquiry. So that's the whole essence of this Get Google Sheets tool. So as you can see, we've set the tool description to automatic. Resources the sheet within document. As you can see here, the operation is get rows. The document here is our client's database, our CRM. Yeah, and we've not added any filters. Then the next tool is update Google Sheets. So after the client has confirmed their availability for viewing, we'll use this tool to add the client's details to the CRM. And you can see here the tool description has been set to automatic. A sheet within document under the resource. The operation parameter is append row, and the document is the client's database. Sheet, the client database. Yeah, so we need these values to update the client database. So we'll need the row client ID, the column client ID, the column full name, email address, phone number, preferred location. These are all columns in the Google Sheets. And so here we are also using the from AI expression. So the AI will figure out if it's got the client's email, it will fill it in. If it's got the client's phone number, for example, it will fill in. It will also figure out if the client has confirmed booking for viewing. It will fill it in as confirmed. Last contact date, will fill all this. Our next tool is update Google Calendar. This tool is what allows us to reschedule events. So whenever a client reschedules their viewing date, we are going to fire this tool. And as you can see here, the resource parameter is event. The operation is update. Although there are a whole lot of operations, we've only went with updates. And the calendar is my calendar. Event ID, we are telling the AI to figure out what the event ID is. Yeah, and that's basically it. I don't think I've left out anything. So this when chat message received trigger is what we use to talk to the AI agent in case we want to ask it questions about a lead. That's why you've got this when chat message trigger here. That's basically it. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your network. And if you want me to help you build a custom AI powered system for your business, whether it's real estate, healthcare, or e-commerce, click the link in the description. Let's make automation work for you. See you in the next video.